Hey everybody, what is up? Welcome back to another hashtag Lockboss show and giveaway. We have a full plate. We're going to have a fun interactive session here in just a little bit. But first up, of course, I'm drinking Topo Chico. This is getting really hard to find around here. So cheers to all you out there. And hopefully I'll be able to find some more soon. I mean, we're getting down to, I don't know, I probably have 10 bottles in the fridge. Not good when you have to start rationing Topo Chico. Now, here coming up, we're going to be doing the posts of the week, the comment of the week, and we're going to be going over and talking about, through an interactive session, about a national price survey that was just put out for Locksmith. So it's be fun to kind of talk about that. And then, of course, last but not least, we're going to be announcing this week's 5 lucky Lockboss winners. So I'm excited to go over all of that and have some fun. I hope all of you are having a great Tuesday. And let's go ahead and get started. How about that? Let's do it. All right. So here we go. Posts of the week. All right. So this is a good one here. So long time no see. Thank goodness you're still a locksmith. I was afraid I was going to have to call one of the expensive lock shops. Now, how many of you out there get random calls from people you haven't maybe seen 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years? And all of a sudden they need a freebie, some lock work done, right? Unlock the car, make keys for the car, that sort of stuff. I know I certainly still get those phone calls a lot. I mean, I wouldn't say it's weekly, but they definitely still happen. So, yeah, that's good stuff there. That's a good one. All right, next up we have, looks like some Lockboss winnings from, let's see here, where's the name? Oh, Bradley Benson. Bradley, thanks for sending that picture in, and good stuff, man. Looks like you got the Arrow Key software, got a Lockboss water bottle, all of that good stuff. You know, I see your guys' comments about this one here, and I have to tell you a funny story. You know, it's going to make me look bad, but that's part of the fun of the internet, right? And so I have a really good friend of mine who had this, like, I don't know, he calls it a gun safe. I would call it a tin thin little cabinet thing that there happens to be guns inside. But nonetheless, he had he lost his keys. He did something. He's like, PJ, will you please help me do it? And I tell you what, I went over there. I tried forever and I could not get it. It was so embarrassing. You know, it was a double-sided lock, and I don't know why, but I just couldn't pick that thing. And I always made fun of him for not getting a nice gun safe, but he's like, hey, it kept you out. So I guess the end of the story is he ended up finding the key, and so I no longer had to keep trying to pick it. But anyways, that's a little embarrassing story there for you. Bradley, thanks for sending that in. All right, and coming up here, so it looks like Mr. Watt Volt Amp. Hopefully you're live here with us. But anyways, he put this really, really nice review in. And the funny part about it is we had a comment pretty much telling us that it was fake. It was a fake comment. And I really appreciated that because it's not fake. And Brian, man, thanks for doing that review. I appreciate it. Any of you who have left us a review, we all appreciate it here at CLK for sure. All right, so comment of the week. Let's see what we got going on here. So this is from John Falk. John, if you're watching, how's it going? He says, what an awesome machine the Triton Plus is. Any lock boss should be proud to own this machine. It does so many things without buying a bunch of additional attachments. Thank you, PJ, for the great videos. Yeah, John, I'm glad you like it. You know, in the funny part, actually, if you notice, it's gone. right now. And that's because it is en route to Las Vegas for the Aloha show. So we'll have the machine that I've been using in the videos. It'll be down there in our booth. Anyone who's going to stop by, check it out. But the funny part coming up with the, so we have a few more Triton videos coming up, I think a couple weeks, I think, before we have another one coming out. But I start to kind of turn the temperature up and I start really testing the Triton. And I found some stuff that maybe it could use some sorry, I was just reading comments there for a second, but there's some areas where, well, I'm just going to save it, but I really put it to the test and I can't wait to show you the results of some of that. But all right, so with that being said, let's get into it. I'm excited about this and I really think we're going to have some fun and we're probably all going to learn something together. So, all right, so, recently that came out was a 2022 national price survey from the Locksmith Ledger. Now, if you guys have not, if you guys don't subscribe or whatever, you might want to consider, and it's good information in there. But yeah, I tell you what, the pricing survey is good. I've taken a few little pieces out and I really want to talk about it, go over it together, and there's some interesting things going on here. So, with that being said, let's dive right in. So, okay, one more thing here before we get going. So, I'm gonna I'll be pulling up some slides. I'll be talking about what the results are. But in the comments, I want you guys. I'm gonna try to do what I can never do, which is read and talk at the same time. But tell me where you're at, what you think, and let's see if we can have some fun here. Okay. All right. Here we go. First one up here is the hourly rate. So the average hourly rate of a locksmith, I'm just going to use, security professional, and I'm just going to say locksmith or lockboss, right? And the average hourly rate is $92 during business hours and $135 an hour after business hours. So I'm curious, where are you guys at in that range? Now, of course, there's always a lot of nuance in this, meaning, of course, if you're in San Francisco, it's going to be a lot more expensive than, in a area with a, little low population. Okay. So of course, it's not going to be exact. However, as what I'm really curious about is your pricing. Does it trend with what you see on the screens, right? So maybe you're 20% less than everything, or 20% more. But I'd be interested to see if there's some stuff you're higher than and then lower in others. It might be good just to reflect on kind of what's going on here. So hourly rate on average, $92. After hours, $135. Looks like Keith Moore there. He's $110 to $150 in Wisconsin. Good stuff. So it looks like, you're right there kind of in line for sure. Right in the middle. Adrian says, good stuff. Okay, here we'll keep going. I'll try not to go too fast so you guys can actually listen and then type. But yeah, 90, 150. Okay, yeah. James, you're right in line with that as well. Very interested. All right, here, let me move that there. There we go. All right, so next up is residential lockout. Okay, so now what I don't know for sure, I'm going to assume it includes it's $85 to unlock a car during business hours. Okay, I'm going to assume that. After hours, $128. So that's interesting. If you kind of compare it to the hourly rate, it's actually less than that, right? It's a little less than the hourly rate, which I find interesting. But so, okay, AZ Sky King says charging $75 for a trip and $50 an hour for residential. Good stuff. Let's move on to the next one here. Automotive lockout is $82 and after hours is $117. So if I just kind of go back to the other one here, so that's 85 and 128. 82 and 117. So my question is, okay, so the automotive lockouts are less, okay? When I think through this a little bit, which you guys know I like to do, and I love numbers, helps me understand the world a little better, is this. So would you say, so the automotive lockouts are a little less than the residential. Would you say that automotive lockouts have are easier? Right, less skill required. Now they do have a lot more competition, right? There's a lot of different industries that do service lockouts, right? Where you know, for the most part, you can use a few simple little tools to unlock a car. Where a house is going to require some more skill. The interesting part, though, is you know that's $3 more for a house lockout. So the question is, what one do you find easier? And I'm going to just see what you have to say here. Yeah, it looks like the Lockfather's on there. 100 per hour. 100 an hour for commercial. Okay. Good stuff. No lockouts. Locks NY says no lockouts unless I'm on top of it or I'm making keys for the car. There you go. Good stuff. Let's see here. All right. So let's get on to the next one here. Duplicate keys. I found this interesting. You know, single cut $4, double cut $6.29. You know, I really wish that some of these questions were actually just a little different to you know, help us understand a little bit more what's going on, right? I think like for sure one should be like a quick set, like a KW1 key or SC1 key. And then at the same time, let's say a, you know, B45 automotive key or something that's a single. Only because, I mean, the price range of your cost on a single cut key can vary greatly. So, but at the same time, I mean, if we're throwing out a number, I guess, you know, it's 4, but 4 and 629. So the interesting part when I look at that, right? So it's $2.29 more to cut a double-sided key. And so you're essentially doing double the work for $2.29 more, which is interesting. Let's see here. Let's see. $2.50 to $6, Keith says. 3 and 8, James Eaton's staff. Very good. Very good. Let's see here. Call. Yeah, that'd be interesting to see any of you who completed the study, the survey. It'd be interesting to know how you did that. But all right, let's keep on going here. Next up is rekey. So for a Mortise cylinder, the average price was $21. So that's interesting. I feel, I kind of like that price, honestly. I feel like that's a good price to rekey a Mortise cylinder. All right, we got a whole bunch of prices coming in here. $5 a key by B. Strickler. Take that dang key to a dang hardware store. Locks and Y. Always a good sense of humor there. Good stuff. Flat 85 day, 105 night. But, you know, what do you think about that Mortise cylinder charge there? So, of course, they had a bunch listed. I just pulled out a few. Make sure you check out the survey if you want to see more. But $21, I feel like that's a good, I mean, whether that includes a couple keys or not, I feel like that's a really good labor charge. Because this is the way I like to look at it, okay? So $21 for a Mortise cylinder to rekey it, just to rekey it, okay? We come back here a little bit. Ooh, passed it. And automotive lockout is $82. So if you do 2, 4, 6, 8, you do 4 rekeys in the time of one automotive lockout. And if you think about that, like, hey, your cost is going to be way less, right? No, and at the same time, you can make that amount of money in a very short amount of time compared to driving around just doing lockouts all day. So I find it very fascinating, the different ones here. So yeah, Adrian says in the ballpark for rekeys. Let's see here, $18 for a 5-pin. James Estep says 20 for a 6. Great pricing there, James. Looks like Locks and West training a guy right now. Let's see here. All right, up from 20 to 25. He says here, okay. George Blair says $6 for bench plus keys and $13.50 for fuel. Okay, so you had a couple keys in there. You're about $10 probably for bench rekey and 18. I don't know, $17, $18 for that. Yep. Okay. Very good. So yeah, I'm really impressed with this price. This $21. Let's see here. Let's move on to the next one here. Okay, labor to install a deadbolt, $73. Now I'm just gonna guess, Kay. I mean, just by looking at these numbers on the on the survey, I'm guessing that's just the labor charge, right, to punch the hole in the door. And $73, I think that's a great price. Once again, we go back to the lockout for about $80, and we compare that to installing a deadbolt for $73. And if you really think about the costs associated with those two, and I'm not meaning to pick on lockouts, but maybe I am a little bit, that is absolutely very interesting. Yeah. Lockjaw Chris. Yeah, I think that's a fresh prep, I would imagine. So I know I wish so many of these would have just a little more detail to understand, but yeah, it's good. So I'm assuming it's a fresh install, $73. That seems right in line there. Keith says $90. Let's see here, just paid. Let's see here. Looks like Evar Conservative just paid $20 for a lockout. That's interesting. It's cheap. I think so. Be strictly, I'm assuming the $73 is to actually cut the hole in the door. So James says yes, 60 for wood, 75 for steel, plus the lock and the service call and all that. Yep, good stuff, James. So far, I mean, you're really in step here. It seems with a lot of these prices. Very, very interesting. So yeah, I really like that. And here let's keep going. Automotive to program a transponder key, $83. Okay, so what do you charge for the programming of a transponder key? And let's just pretend you're throwing in like a B111 Circle Plus key. Okay, let's just pretend you're throwing in something like that, because this is what I want to talk about. This is so fascinating to me. Okay, so to program a transponder key is $83. To install a deadbolt is $73. Now let's talk about the equipment cost here, right? The equipment cost for a deadbolt installation tool. Well, I mean, you can go cheap, right? Like the one that we've went over. Let's say $30, right? $30. Let's even say a really, really nice one is $500. The Pro Lock one has all the little jigs and accessories with it. So you're looking at $500 there, and you compare that to automotive key programming. And the equipment costs and even the knowledge and know-how is so much more. But I find it interesting with whatever we're deciding to charge and or what the market will bear, the difference here between $73 for a deadbolt install and $83 to program a transponder key. I find that absolutely fascinating, just due to the investment and the skill required. I think $83 to program a transponder key is a steal. But let's see here. $50 plus the key. Okay. Let's see here. Lockjaw says service call covers programming customer key. So roughly 80 to 100, not cutting. And generally that would mean the customer key. Sure. Okay. Good stuff. So yeah, so I just find those two interesting side by side like that, knowing what it takes to do both. Very fascinating for me. Let's see here. Let's keep going. I think we have one or two more. Oh, nope, that was the last one here. So there's a bunch of other ones listed there. Go and check it out through the Locksmith Ledger. But so yeah, so in recap, well, let's start at the beginning here. Let's go through them one more time here. And let's see. So hourly rate, $92. Now, let's talk about, there's always the talk between charging per the service and charging per hour, right? And so $92, I mean, it's a decent hourly rate for sure. But when you compare that to the rekey of $21, right? So how many rekeys essentially could you do in an hour, right? Quite a few for the most part. So you change that, you look at that, find that interesting. So $92 hourly rate. Residential lockout, $85. So it's almost like the market, and I get it. There's a lot of competition out there. Tons of different industries seem to kind of cater into that residential or the automotive lockout, I should say. But the residential lockout, I find it interesting. I'm guessing, like I said, that trip charge is included in that $85 was my guess. I could be wrong. But in that case, right, man, to drive there and to do that for $85 with that skill, whether you're using whatever type of pick or mechanism you're using, that's cheap. I think that's cheap. Once again, automotive lockouts are cheaper. Very interesting. $82. Duplicate key, $4. Double-sided, $6.29. I would just hate to see that, like a FIC3 key included in that double cut for $6.29. It should be much more. Rekey, $21. Labor to install a deadbolt, $73. Automotive keys programming is $83. So how about that? Now, is that some interesting stuff, or is that just me? I find that absolutely fascinating. And let's see here. Odin says, I haven't changed my rates in 10 years and recently went from 60 to 100. Deadbolt installation would be quoted 45 minutes, so $75 to install. Very good. Yeah, Odin, so you're right in there with the survey results. Seems like most people in here, a lot of you are right in line there. So, yeah, Lockjaw says between tow truck, roadside, indie, established, automotive, auto lockouts are low-hanging fruit. Absolutely. Yep. And I think, for the most part, the barrier to entry into any sort of business or trade is going to have lower prices for the most part, right? I mean, if it only takes you $100 or $500 to essentially establish a business, well, the prices are going to be less than if it cost you $50,000 or $100,000 to get going, right? So now, of course, that's more true than untrue. There's always nuance to it, but yeah, yep. And so I'm curious, what are the kind of the takeaways from this? I can kind of tell you my takeaway, and I'd love to see your takeaways. But I really find that the rekey pricing is great. Deadbolt installation prices are great. But it really, really is interesting to me seeing the labor to install a deadbolt compared to the labor to program a key. And don't get me wrong, it does require skill and it does require, professionalism to install a good deadbolt, right? It does. But compared to what can go wrong when you're trying to program a vehicle between all sorts of things that goes with it, I find it very interesting that those prices are so similar. One requires a ton of technology, and the other one requires just a little elbow grease, really. But all right, let's see here. James, let me read a few comments here. Brandon says, I charge $60 to program a key, $45 for the key cut by code, $65 for the trip charge, $50 to $75 to decode. and key code from Ben. Good stuff. James Randolph says, I bet a lot of people didn't update their rates as often as they should have. Might be true, but I'm guessing with everyone who's always on the live and watching our videos, I mean, I've maybe done too many videos about it. I don't know, maybe not, but I'm really, really hoping everyone we keep staying up with inflation and the times right now and protecting our businesses, really. Adrian Holly says, price per task is based off the cost of my time and the skill to complete the task. That's good. And Steve Schmidt says, I'm just a little bit less than on most of right on. So yeah, that's good. You know, and I think a lot of it, of course, the nuance of the area you're in, the cost of living where you're at, the competition. I mean, there's so many things that go into it. But yeah. Good stuff, everybody. Well, hey, I hope you enjoyed that. It's kind of fun to talk about it and go over it and hear what some of your prices on the different stuff are. Now, I know we have definitely talked a lot about pricing and all of that, but really it's something that we should continue to address. You know, I'll try not to do it too much though. Okay. Yeah, let's see here. Okay, 2 more comments and then we're going to get into the lucky winners this week. So when a client wants to buy your lock, and do you guys charge one flat fee for the lock and another to include repinning and install in the price, or charge that separately? That's good. Be strict. So from what I've kind of seen in the comments, I can answer it basically, but definitely add your comment. So essentially the lock is separate. I think a week or 2 ago, we talked about rekeying once, like if someone buys a lock from you, do you charge them to rekey it or not? And I think the general consensus that you were still charging to rekey it. Some, I believe, said kind of a discount, but yeah. And I think, you know, my dad and I, the Lock Father, we definitely talked a little bit about the nuance of that. And we, you know, in the smart key video pricing, rekeying. But I think the general consensus is that, like, why would you give, like, if a customer buys the lock from you or doesn't buy you from you, you still have to rekey it. And so to just give that away, you know, I think that kind of the conclusion is you're kind of just leaving money on the table when it comes to that. You know, it's a service that you're going to have to perform. So why wouldn't you get paid for that? All right. I charge based, this Lucky Strike says, I charge based on the skill involved, what the specialized tools cost, how long it'll take. Automotive stuff is generally more money because of the tools needed. Makes sense. Makes sense. Okay, Brandit says, only 45 to cut in a deadbolt. I am cheap, also using jig and thimble strike. Okay, yeah, 45. Interesting. Cool. Good. He says, you know, it's easier to find hard Topo Chico. It is easier to find hard Topo Chico. That is, go figure, right? Go figure. All right, everybody. Well, hey, that was a good session. I hope you enjoyed it. I look forward to any of you watching after live, to reading your comments and seeing what you have to say. So let's move on to this week's lucky winners. So let's go over it real quick. What to do if you win. You want to email us your shipping info to sales@CLKsupplies.com or call us at 800-848-6989. And we'll send your gifts soon. How to win. Comment on our videos with the hashtag Lockboss. Winners will be chosen from comments on the previous week's video. That's how you win. It's that simple. So, of course, no purchase necessary, but we definitely appreciate all of the support that you all have given us. Very honored. Very honored. All right. So, with that being said, let's hook 5 people up and have some fun here. Here we go. Winner number 1 is Brian Ogram. Brian, congratulations. Here we go. Number 2. Winner number 2 is James Estep. James, congratulations. I know you're in the chat here, so good stuff. Congrats. Here we go. Winner number 3 this week is Joseph Douglas. Joseph, congratulations. Winner number 4 this week is North Star Lock and Key. North Star Lock and Key, congratulations. And last but not least, winner number 5 this week is Cobra Locksmith. Cobra Locksmith, congratulations. Good stuff. Now, of course, for another, week and a half, we got the Lockboss Forever Tank and Koozie. You can buy it, but you can also just get it for free on any order over $345 by just adding it to your cart. So I tell you what, guys, we've had some really good, with the videos we've come out with, so much good comments and discussions, and absolutely amazing. So thank you all for that. And I tell you what, we have some really good ones coming up here this week. So the first one coming up is a very sensitive subject about the safety in the locksmithing world. It's a conversation between my dad and I, and we know it's a thing nowadays, and our hearts go out to all of those affected by that. And we're really I'm going to really start hammering this topic here. Okay. I'm going to start hammering it. We're going to see if we can't together learn and grow and adapt together. So, and then coming up this Sunday. So I remember I've been teasing you guys about a product for quite a while now. Okay. And the product is here. The video is shot, and it's happening on Sunday. So I absolutely cannot wait. So the funny part is to get everything ready. We already, I don't know if I should tell you this. Maybe I should. Maybe I will. Why not? But so we had to actually launch the product to get everything ready for the video. We had to launch the product on our website. So it's actually on our website right now. So people have actually been buying it, and we haven't advertised it at all yet. But I can't wait for you to find out about it, because this is the deal, okay? This is the deal. You all gave us the idea of this, not like directly, but kind of indirectly through us asking you what type of Lockboss stuff you wanted. We kind of came up with this, and I honestly cannot wait for you to watch it, to show you. Of course, we'll be talking about it next Tuesday, and I don't know, we're probably going to be giving some away, wink, 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 but it'll be down at a low with us, and I'm really excited, everybody. So, hey, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for taking part in the conversation. It was a lot of fun. I appreciate y'all coming on and hanging out for a little bit. And congrats to the 5 winners. And we'll see y'all same place, same time next week. All right, y'all take care.